Okay, V10, Urfreshtvsport, and I'm here with Chris Balchin, this is the head manager of Guildford City. I've had the pleasure of playing under him. He's one of the youngest managers in the game right now, and he's got a reputation that's forever growing. And what I can say after playing under him is that his player management relationships is probably one of the best around right now. Like, the players really, he gets on with the players and he gets the younger players. Maybe that is because of his age, but I was speaking to him on the phone maybe 2 days ago, and that's when I realized I really need to interview him, because he had a lot of very valid but strong opinions on what's going on in the football community right now. So I thought I'd get him on, and here he is. How you doing, Chris?
Lovely intro, thanks, mate.
Yeah, you like that, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good. It's strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just mad, mate. It's mad. It's mad that I can't believe that the world can just. I never thought for a second that I know the power of the world and things like that. I'm quite spiritual and stuff like that, but this is just, when it come about, I thought I'd be a few weeks,
Yeah.
But it's just, I know, I can't see us skipping a ball till January, Dan. Even that is, I think, I don't know if we're playing football next season.
Seriously?
I know this year I've got a contingency plan to start. They have to have a plan to start in August, because obviously that's when we normally would start. They got contingency plan, to go in September, October, November, December, or January, and after that there isn't a plan. So I think if we're not back by January, I don't think there'll be a season next year.
Okay. Have you had any sort of communication from like whoever's running the league on plans on getting back out there? Or is it everyone just literally waiting in the wings now to hear updates?
I'm quite fortunate. I've got a fantastic relationship with my football club. Barry and I are, he's my secretary, but we're close, incredibly close, and we spoke regularly. And we're in limbo, so we have to use this time. There be football clubs, Dan, and this is again probably a strong opinion, but I'll say it, that are just sitting on their backsides expecting, we'll come back, and when we come back, we can do this, and this. You can't. We're working harder now than what we've ever worked. So we have to work on sponsorships. We have to get the club, use this time to get the club in the best possible position for us to move forward into phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. Because at the moment, if we started the season now, we wouldn't be in the greatest position.
Yeah.
Because financially, with the we're a self-funded club. People see the Spectrum, which is obviously our home pitch, and think, Guildford's got a base. That's not our ground.
Okay.
So although it's got our name assigned to it, that's owned by the council. Okay. So we don't have any maintenance fees or anything like that to do on the ground at the moment. So our only income comes from our sponsors. And obviously, as you know, playing for us, a lot of our sponsors are builders, beauticians, things like that. They're not working right now. So we have to now evolve and think outside the box and think, right, where can we attract sponsors from? What can we do differently? So we've had 3 or 4 Zoom calls with the committee about how we can drive the club forward. So, listen, there's no days off for us. We have to work harder. We have to try and evolve, and that's what we're trying to do. And we're trying to achieve it, I think, in the right way.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think it's clear from our conversation before, and like you said now, you and the club are being very proactive considering the circumstances and the climate of the game right now. And hats off to you, because that's what I think is going to be needed. You have to be very proactive, and people need to be working from now. But what I wanted to touch on, it's funny because you're wearing their shirt right now. But what I've seen is Surrey Hire. They sponsored South Park. I read today that they're sponsoring Sutton Common Rovers. So I feel like Steve Dormer, I believe he owns it, right?
Yeah, that's right.
He's doing a lot then for the scene right now in terms of sponsorships, because that's 2 big clubs, and to get that sponsorship now, considering the climate of the game right now, that's big successes, no?
100%. Listen, Steve's a football man through and through. Steve isn't just my boss; he's a very close friend. So Steve will always put back into football, always. Not last season, season before. I think we did 25 clubs, separate clubs with banners around the pitch.
Wow.
So he's done. He's just agreed a deal with Martin in South Park. That's quite close to our Epsom depot.
Yeah.
He's agreed a deal with SCR, again quite close to the Epsom depot. He's done one with CB Hounslow. He's agreed to do their kit.
Okay.
CB Hounslow's close to our Feltham depot.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm pleased to announce we've done a deal with Steve today. This morning we spoke about it. So our deal isn't set in stone right now. He's agreed to give us some sponsorship next season. So listen, Steve will do all he can for grassroots football. He runs a very successful business, and everything he puts into football. Don't get me wrong, we don't get all of it back. We get work back from football clubs. Bagshot Lee at the moment have got a digger out with us, so we get money back from football clubs. Football clubs are always trying to evolve, trying to change things around. We've done a lot for Westfield when they were doing their ground redevelopments. We hired a lot of the machinery for them. So listen, we do get stuff back. But Steve will always support grassroots, always.
Yeah, man. Hats off to Steve. I played under him for a brief period, but one thing that I learned in that brief period is that he is a football man. He's a genuine man, and obviously he loves football, and he's showing that with his obviously willingness to support these clubs in this difficult time. So shout out to Surrey Hire, Steve Dormer, and yourself. What I've seen is a lot of other clubs. They're having to start up like GoFundMe pages, and they're having to do get supporter donations and stuff like that. So what's your thoughts on that?
Listen, if you need it and you genuinely need it, for instance, I'll use an example. South Park, that's their pitch, yeah? So they have their ground maintenance, they're losing bar revenue. Clubs like that I genuinely feel for, yeah? So they have to do it, and that's the right reasons for them to do that. Yeah. And they set up a GoFundMe page, and it was positive for them. Tranmere Rovers come in. Obviously, they had the big FA Cup tie with a few years ago. It helped them support it, and it's worked perfectly for them. There's another club in the CCL, for instance, who put a GoFundMe page up, saying that their club was at risk within the coronavirus, blah, 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 COVID-19. It got laughed at. It got laughed at, Dan. And there was an email, there was a thread on Twitter with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 comments with people just mocking it. And I think you have to do it for the right reasons. There's clubs out there that are doing it for the right reasons, and there's clubs out there that don't, for me, are doing it for the wrong reasons. Like we had a conversation with the committee last week, and I can only reframe it from my perspective and what's happening with my club. And we have spoken about a GoFundMe page, and I said I was against it because I thought they wanted to do it to try and generate money for the club. Ours is different. I don't know if you were there, Dan. As you come out the home dressing room, you know we've got the shed there on the right-hand side. Yeah. So that was broken into. So a lot of our stock was taken, and the big speaker that we all bought.
Oh wow!
For the pre-season. So and the damage to the shed. So we're probably in debt for that. That probably owes us $2.5 grand.
Yeah.
So how can we, the only way we can get that money back is through sponsorship.
Yeah, 100%.
We don't have the money just to go, right, okay, we're going to buy a new shed and we're going to refill what the items have lost. Yeah. So is it worth us doing a GoFundMe page? We probably can do that because we have photo, evidence, etc., etc. So we can then say that this has happened, and I'm sure it'll get well supported within the community. And that's the bottom line. You need to get your community to support it. So listen, you can sit on your backside and hope people will help you, or you can get off your backside and say, do you know what? I'm going to change. I need to evolve. I can't rely on him and him and him. I need to do it myself. Yeah. So I'm going to go and speak to this person, that person, and try and generate the money that way. That's my view on it. So again, it's a strong opinion, but I just feel like there's other ways and means of getting sponsorship and helping your football club out. I just think that, I don't know, it's a strong opinion, but that's
listen, from what you're saying, it makes sense to me, and I can actually side with you on that. And I agree, to be honest with you. But if we move away from like the sponsorships and stuff, let's just say that the season does go ahead, August, September, whenever. Fingers crossed. What's your goals? What's the next step for Guildford City? Obviously, you're trying to get promoted, I presume. So, like, what steps are you taking towards achieving those goals?
Well, listen, last season, I'm learning. I'm 32 years old. I probably look 52, but I'm 32, and I've done the best part of 150 games at this level now. So I'm probably one of the more experienced managers in the league, even being probably one of the youngest or the youngest.
Yeah.
Last season, in pre-season, you were there, V.
Yeah.
We were flying. Literally, like, I mean, no disrespect, you're not bringing your agent to me. You're very experienced at this level.
Yeah.
And you were coming to me saying, Gaffer, we've got to keep this group together. We can do, you know, not just you. Everyone was so excited. There was a buzz around the place. Everything was perfect. We did the, I wasn't in there, but I remember playing at Alton and Mario was on the music. Everyone singing along. Just things like that. The camaraderie we had was unbelievable. And I'm convinced that we had such a poor start. And I think where it shocked us so much, I'm big enough to admit, I didn't know how to adapt to that shock. I was like, what's going on? Pre-season, we're playing good sides and popping and playing ever so well, that everything was good, the camp was good. And the minute it started to go wrong, I probably let myself down because I didn't fix it quick enough. And by the time I tried to fix it, it was probably a little bit too late. And then we had to rebuild in January, and it was very difficult. And you know, we have to take... I take responsibility for that. And last season, I think if we did get it right and we did keep everyone together, I think we probably would have definitely been near the top end of the table. But for that reason, we finished near the bottom, and that was really disappointing. So I've learned from that, and this, if the season started tomorrow, I think I'll be in a better place for that. I'm very fortunate that I've got good loyal 7 or 8 players that I think can get in most teams in the league.
Yeah.
And the important thing is to get another 7 or 8 that are in the same calibre. But the only way you can do that is with good management and managing the club properly. Forget about the football side for a minute, because we're not going to be playing football soon. So we have to get the other side of it right. If we can get the other side of it right, we'll attract players, because we've got good players at the club. You know, your best friend Theo's, I think, one of the best captains in the CCL, leader.
100%.
You know,
100%.
Great guy as well. Good to have around. So good with the younger players. Obviously, we've got Nemo. Nemo's been at the club now nearly 100 appearances. Again, experienced lad. We've just got good players that people want to play with, and we just need to keep trying to attract the right. The key here, Dan, is to attract the right player. Let's not try and sign somebody because he's done this, and this. I've made that mistake too many times, and that's no disrespect to the players I've managed, because I've met some great people through football, but I have to make the right signings, and it's very, very important we get it right this year, because I can't go for another season like last year, Dan. It was, I mean, I started to hate the game. I mean, to be fair, you're one of my confidants, and I was speaking to you about it once obviously Urfresh took over with you, and saying, Dad, what am I doing wrong? And to be fair, you know, you were fantastic for me, and I just gritted my teeth, dug in there, and I know what I've got to do to get it right. I'm not saying that we're going to get promoted next year. I'm not saying that we're going to be at the top of the table, but I'll tell you one thing, we'll be a lot better next year than we were this year.
Yeah, no, I can honestly believe that as well. And obviously, off the record, obviously away from like Guildford City and the Saturday football, I know that you kind of follow the Sunday scene as well. So like who do you like on the Sunday scene, and what makes you like the Sunday scene in terms of like?
I'll tell you what, I'll get a bit deep here.
Yeah.
So obviously, you know my parents. You've met my parents, my mum and dad. So my mum, 5 years ago, got really sick. She you know, we thought we were going to lose her, and since then she's had to be on oxygen 24 hours a day. And she was just unwell, and it was a really hard time for us. And she got better, thankfully, but she still has to be on the oxygen. And then she had a relapse about, it must have been about 18 months ago now.
Okay.
And during that time, she got ill on the Tuesday. We had a game on the Saturday against Hanworth Villa. And again, this is just a testament to my group. I come in there on the Saturday, not knowing if my mum was going to live or die, Dan. Do you know that? It was that serious. And, you know, I went to see her on the Saturday morning, and I was in a pair of jeans and a T-shirt. I wasn't going to the game. And she said that, get to the game. Go and do what you love. You know, I'll be here when you get back. So I went to the game. We won the game. And after the game, Nemo, as captain at the time, presented me with some flowers, you know, a card from my mum. Went back. Took to the hospital, mum was in tears, done a video for the boys, listen, brilliant. But during this time, I found the Dons, and it's weird how it happened. I was watching some music videos, and Strapsy come up.
Yeah.
And it was around the period of his mum dying. And I don't know, I just related to him, and I could see the pain that he was going through, and it sounds a bit corny, and no cringy shit here.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I'm this guy. I'm going through what this guy's going through, and football's like helping him, and
Yeah.
football's helping me. So, do you know what? I just fell in love with the game again, and I just thought, right. And my mum got better, and everything changed for me. We had an unbelievable end to the season, and I'm convinced that everything about my mum, and I know it sounds weird, and people think, oh, shut up, but they're watching the Dons and like Big G and stuff. I was like, whoa, this is mad. I need this at Guildford. How can I create this? But unfortunately, you can't. That's not something you can create in 1 week, 2 weeks. This is years, Dan.
Right.
They're friends. Do you know what I'm saying? They will go to war for each other. I can't expect you to go to war on a Saturday afternoon with a boy that you've never met. You will go and you'll work hard for the football team, but you haven't got that brotherhood. You haven't got that. Do you know what I'm saying? So
100%.
I got into it through the back of that, and then it would be stupid for me on the flip side to that. So by the way, big up Strapsy for that, because love to him and how he turned that negative in his life. He'll never go through something so negative in his life ever than losing your mum. You get one mum, you know. And he turned it around, and the way he's evolved and evolved the Dons since then is unbelievable. But the flip side to that is, if I didn't watch Sunday League, forget about my mum and how I got into it, I'd be stupid if I didn't watch the Dons and Kenninwell and is it Spartans that Elge plays for? I have to look at these because, do you know what, Dan? I don't know. I never knew who Ryan Dolby was.
Yeah.
Now I know his name.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? I now know these players and think, so if anyone ever said to me, do you know this player or this player's come available, I know that person. So I've now got, the black book's got bigger through watching the Dons.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, listen, people slag off Sunday League and stuff like that and say, you know, do you have a problem with your players playing? No problems at all. Go and listen, football's a short career. You've got to go and play football. And Saturday is, do you know what annoys me when people say Saturday, you know, you're picking up your peas and then Sunday is time to enjoy it. That's bollocks.
Yeah.
Football is football. Football's irrelevant at the level, irrelevant at the day of the week. You've got to enjoy it. So if you turn up on a Sunday differently to how you turn up on a Saturday, you're doing something wrong. You have to change your mentality. You should be the same every time you cross that white line. Whether you cross it playing with your son, anything. I want to win.
Yeah.
I played my nephew at FIFA last week. He's 6 years old. I didn't give him a chance. I'm saying I'm ruthless. You have to be ruthless though, Dan. So if you're going to cross that white line and say, oh, well, it's different on a Sunday, it shouldn't be different. And you know what? If you're going to think like that, you're going to get left behind. And that's why you're probably not playing the level you should.
Yeah.
I mean, I had it last season with Ryan. You know, RDS. Ryan de Smith is the most loveliest kid in the world. And he was making a massive name on a Sunday. I don't think it affected him on a Saturday because Ryan is very mature. So I didn't have to worry. But did I worry initially at the beginning? Yeah. I did. I was thinking, oh my God, is this going to change him? But listen, I know he's moved on now, but what a humble kid, a great kid. I can't speak highly enough of Ryan. But he dealt with it really well. But I'm sure there's some players that won't deal with it so well. I might let the smoke get out their arse and think they're better than they are, but he certainly didn't. So I just wanted to mention that before. I didn't want people thinking I was speaking about him when I was saying that.
Yeah. No. Shout out to Ryan. Of course, he's definitely a mature player and he made a big name for himself on the Sunday scene. And you pretty much answered my next question. I was going to say, like, obviously, you had like the likes of Ryan that was making a name, and did you think it affected the way you played on a Saturday? And obviously, you don't think it did, but at the beginning, you was worried that it might. I
think sometimes maybe. Like I think the thing that concerned me at times, and I never said this to Ryan because you put an element of doubt in the player's head, it will stay there. That's the way I've always thought and always worked. The way I've always worked. But if I knew when Ryan had a big game on a Sunday, you know, and on a Saturday, was I concerned that Ryan might not, you know, try and leave something in the tank for the next day? That was always a concern. Do I think he did that? No, I don't think he did. I genuinely don't think he did. He never bottled challenges, things like that. Ryan's got that mentality where the mentality I'm talking about. You cross the white line, you want to win. You know, no one was more upset and disappointed with the form we had, and that's why I didn't blame Ryan when the move come up to move to SCR. I didn't make it difficult for him because I understand that they were a club that were in a better position than we were.
Yeah.
So you have to listen. You have to go with your best wishes, and hopefully one day I'll work with Ryan again. But listen, I wish him all the best.
Yeah, and again, that goes back to what I was saying about you and your relationships with the players. It's like you still have that presence of I'm the manager, but you have like a real friendship with these players, like a real love between you and your players, which is kind of rare nowadays, I think.
Yeah, but I think that's a positive and a negative though, Dan, and that's what I've got to work on. That's what I've got to get right, because I do get friendly with players, and sometimes probably too friendly. So when they do need a bollocking, they probably think that I'm cussing them. Do you understand? Because they're thinking, hang on a minute, you're not my friend. But no, listen, you can't. Listen, I've got friends that I've made for life in football. So would you have. So is everyone that's involved in the game, whether you're a pro or non-league. But I have to get that right, and that's a very fine line, and that's something that I'm working on, fighting with daily, because it's difficult. Because when let's say Theo, for instance, Theo's had bad games, and Theo's had brilliant games for us, and it's difficult to. I need to toe that line where I can say, right, I'm your friend until 1:30, and at 1:30 I'm your manager, and that's the way you have to respect it. And to be fair, I don't have that trouble much, but it's again, I identify that, like you say, you're probably saying it's a positive thing because you've played for me, but you can probably see that there could be a negative side to that as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. I do agree with you, but I think that will come with experience. Like I said, you're still quite young for a manager in general, so I feel like all these experiences is going to shape you and get you to the best you can be as a manager. So I feel like next year we'll see a better Chris Balchin in terms of managerial presence. What I was going to say now is, obviously, there's a bit of comparison between the level of Sunday league football and the level of a Saturday football, and players trying to get to the highest level possible. What would you say the differences are in terms of the level of playing between a Sunday? I'm talking about the top end of Sunday, because I know on Sunday you have like Division 9, 8, 7. If we're talking OBDSFL Prem, where we got the Dons, you got like Lambeth, you got Kenilworth, you got Spartans, those like the upper echelons almost of Sunday league football. If you were to compare that level of football to the Saturday level, where do you think they fit in terms of? Are we saying step 6, step 5?
No. Not 6. Imagine Zach Answer playing in step 6.
Yeah, exactly, and that's been my point.
You look at the Dons, for instance, because the Dons is a team I probably know best.
Yeah.
Big G.
Yeah.
He's step 3, step 4, isn't he?
Yeah.
Right now. I don't really know too much about their defenders, to be honest.
Yeah.
Obviously, but the midfielders, you look at. I mean, I've seen Jack play. We've played against Jack when Jack was at Jack Samoots, when he was at Casuals. Yeah. Unbelievable footballer.
Yeah.
He's not. It's hard. It's a hard question because, I mean, what I would say is the pitches make a big difference, don't they? So if you're playing on a cow field on a Sunday, and on a Saturday, listen, we get some good pitches, bad pitches, but you don't get many bad ones. Some of them you might think, oh, this is terrible, but you see some of them Sunday pitches, you've seen them. Yeah. Like I watched the great episode you did with Lambeth and Portland. Yeah. That pitch looked like an absolute cow field.
Yes, awful.
I don't know how bad that, but I mean, but the quality on show that day.
Yeah.
For desire, listen, the football wasn't that great because you can't play good football on that pitch, but the desire levels on that day was unbelievable from what I saw on the camera. So, listen, I don't know. It's a hard question because you don't know, but I'm sure if the Dons put the Dons in the CCL Prem tomorrow, I think they'd be one of the favourites to win the league, personally.
Yeah, I would go along with that as well. I think they would win it.
It's hard.
It's hard though. Yeah, it's never. There is no right or wrong. It's always going to be opinions, and football's just a game of opinions anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like until you get on.
You look at the CCL last year. I think the one thing the CCL lacked last year, honestly, was like a proper goal scorer, like somebody. I mean, I think the top scorer in the league was like 20 odd goals.
Oh really?
Imagine putting Zach Answer.
He's getting 40 goals. Zach Answer in that league gets 40 plus goals. And I watched them against
Kenningwell in the final over at Bromley.
Did you go to watch that then? Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that game. I watched that game, and the movement. I mean, because I really, really rate Guy Baskerville, who was at Sutton Common Rovers. He was centre half that day. He made a tiny little mistake, small mistake, and Zach just pounced. And it was like a lion, bang, goal.
Yeah.
It was like out of nothing. It was like a long, hopeful ball. And then the composure he showed for the second goal. Sounds like I'm right up his arse here, by the way, but I have to use it. I have to listen. If I can afford him, I'll try and get him. Trust me. But yeah, the quality on show that day. Obviously, I'm Frenchie, good friends with Frenchie, so big up French. And obviously, I went there, and I'll be honest, I went there supporting just grassroots football. I didn't care who won the game. I just wanted to see. Listen, is this all smoke, or is it all gas, or is this the real deal? And I left there, and I went on my own actually, and I drove home. It's a long drive for me. It's about an hour away. Yeah. And I thought, Jesus Christ, that was a good game of football, real good game of football.
Good level.
Tight. Yeah, but there's levels to football. There is levels to any sport, and levels to life in general. And that game of football, listen, if you went to a Step 3 game and watched that game of football that day, you would have got your money's worth. So, it's a really, really good game. Good, real good game. And probably one of the best games I've seen. I mean, it had everything, that game. Unbelievable. And I talk about that game. I mean, Zach Powell, he's a great lad as well. Zach's had a half volley. You might have seen it on videos. I don't know if were you at the game?
I wasn't at the game, no.
Oh, he's had a half volley from about 40 yards out. And how the keeper saved it was just...
Yeah, I mean, Big G was on fire that day. Like I saw the highlights. I weren't there, but he was definitely on fire. Apparently.
But I was one of the ones that saw T's shot, and I could see it hit the back of the post. It hit the post, hit the back of the. It didn't hit the post. It like the wheel part of the the goals that are on wheels.
Oh, so it actually did hit the wheel then, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think the ref's got to understand he's made a mistake there, and I felt sorry for. He's sin bin tea at half time of extra time, and that was a killer for them. To go down to 10 men when it was tied. It was a hot day as well. But yeah, that was a great game of football.
Yeah, man. And I think next year now, like obviously fingers crossed, like we keep saying, that football does restart. But when it does restart, I do genuinely see this Sunday League OBDSFL really having the best season it's ever had, and obviously just encapsulating a lot more eyes and audience. And I think it could be like a revolutionary year for Sunday League football. And
I think only because of people like you, though, Dan.
Yeah,
I don't think that's not me again blowing smoke up your ass, but I remember signing you, and I wasn't sure what I was getting, because I'd seen you play many times, but obviously the age was a factor, blah blah blah. And Theo's like, "No, he's still got it." Yeah. 2 training sessions after 2 training, I said, "Mate, he's different class, still got it, different class." And you had that hunger, desire to succeed, and your pre-season was perfect. And then as soon as you started to get your teeth into Urfresh, that's how I know how passionate you are about what you're doing right now, because football took a back seat for you then. It was like, do you know what? If anybody that's winning, because right now, at the beginning, there was not, you just had a dream. This is what I want to achieve. I want to be here. And this is exactly what I'm like with football management. I want to be here. How can I get there? I have to go through so much to get there. You've got to go from, you've virtually given up playing Saturday football, or given up football in general. You play with your 5s and stuff.
Yeah, literally.
And just to try and better yourself. Yeah. So you've been selfish to the point where you think, do you know what, forget about money for 1 year, 2 years. Yeah. I know what I want to achieve, and I'm going to go and achieve it. Yeah. And that is that motto in life has to be used for football, I think, with the current climate that's coming up, because clubs aren't going to have the money. They're just not. Yeah. So where do you want to go in football? Do you play football? Sorry, excuse me. To get money. Yeah. For yourself and your family, or do you? Why do you play football? Because when I first put a pair of boots on, I played because I wanted to play football. I love the game. Yeah. Listen, the money's a bonus. I think it's never going to be life-changing money at this level, at non-league level. So if players want to move for an extra 10 or a 5, I don't see the point in that. Longevity at a club, you just do not see anymore. You don't. I can probably count on one hand the players I know in the CCL that have stayed at their club for a long time. You don't get it anymore. So to get that longevity, you need, like you've done, do you know what? I need to get to, if you want to go and play step 3, stay at a club, do well, establish yourself, and then when that step 3 club comes, you're going to be in a much better position. But what players do is think, well, I'll stay here, and then if the club comes knocking, and they move sideways, and then they move another sideways move. Then I don't understand that personally.
Yeah.
I think if you can get settled at a club, listen, I might be speaking out of turn, but I think if you can get settled, but it's hard because some players might say, the argument might be, well, I don't get on with the manager, or I didn't like the coaching, or I didn't like this. But if you're enjoying it somewhere, the money should come. I don't know, because again, it's probably controversial what I'm saying, but if you're enjoying football where you're playing and somebody comes and offers you double the money, I can understand the move.
Yeah.
But if someone comes and offers you a little bit more, but you've got to go through that whole process again of establishing yourself in that team, meeting, you might know 1 or 2 players, but meeting the whole team, because that's not easy. That's not halfway through a season. Someone comes in the dressing room that you don't know. It's just like you've got to, it's difficult. Like I remember Cobham last year.
Yeah.
You were busy with your fresh. I called you up, Dan, I need your help this week. Yep, no problem, Gaffer, I'll be there. Yeah. I'll never forget that welcome you got when you walked in the dressing room. You were a little bit late. Well, shock.
Yeah.
You got in there about 20 to 2. You walked in the dressing room, it was just like everyone sort of like just jumping up and down, VI. Do you know what I'm saying? So players take that for granted, I think. That I mean, how did that, getting a bit deep again, how did that make you feel when you walked into that dressing room that day?
Well, I tell you for free. I did not expect it, number one, because I was so caught up in my own bubble. Like you said, I was tunnel visioned and just trying to, you're fresh, editing, recording, So I understood that people were receiving it well, but when I got that welcome, it was like an eye opener to see how well it's actually being received, because the way they welcomed me back was almost like not like a celebrity, but like they were so happy. It was just like a very joyful feeling. It was very it was satisfying. And to be honest, the reason why I do this, as much as it's to highlight grassroots football, is also to give these young kids opportunities. Do you know what I mean? Like more opportunities to showcase what they can do and hopefully help them be a better player and get like some sort of career in football, whether that's through coaching, playing themselves, or journalism, or whatever it is. Just create a platform for these kids. But I tell you what, when I got that welcome, it was like an eye opener for me, 100%.
Do you know what? This again, it sounds a bit creepy, but it took me back. I was taken back by it. I was like, whoa. And then, like, we've always had a great relationship. So, and I was just like, and I remember, obviously, where you were a little bit late, you were one of the last ones in the dressing room. I said, V, that's mad, wasn't it? Mad. And it was just like both laughed. And, you nearly scored that day. But that's what I'm saying. But you're willing to give up your, like, I spoke to you a couple of days. I'd say on camera, I want V to play for me. Yeah. Every week. But obviously, it's just not possible at the moment with your fresh, which is fine. But again, you sacrificed your football to do something positive. So that's great. But what the point I'm getting at is when kids are at a club that they enjoy playing for, with the current climate now where the world can just stop and it can get all taken away from you, don't take that club for granted. And what you have with that club and that brotherhood. And people keep saying, oh, but Sundays we have this, Sundays we have... You can't create that on a Saturday because people keep moving, chopping, changing. Stay somewhere, build something, be successful. That's what my motto has got to be now. I've got to be better than I was yesterday, and tomorrow I've got to be better than I was today. Just keep working so hard on getting that dressing room right. Because if I can get the dressing room right, I honestly have to believe in myself to have the ability to manage the team correctly on the pitch. But the dressing room is where it's won and lost. And and that players need to understand that, because again, there'll be players out there that have played for me that probably think I'm useless, I'm shit, tactically wrong, I'm all these different things. And that's their opinion, and I respect anyone's opinion of me. That's fine. I get that. I'm thick-skinned. I understand that. But if you play somewhere and you enjoy it, don't just think now, when you go back as a player, especially the younger ones, when you go back and you're enjoying it and you're getting game time, just stay there and build something and build that name for yourself. Like Ryan has at Portland. All the clubs in Sunday League that want Ryan right now, I can almost guarantee you, I probably shouldn't be saying it, I can almost guarantee that he'll be at Portland next year. Do you know why? Because they're his friends and he loves that club and he loves playing for them. But he could probably go and play, mate, I might be wrong saying this, but he could probably go and play for the Dons because of the name that he's got in that league right now.
Yeah.
But he doesn't, because he's got that at Portland, and I need to create that brotherhood at Guildford. So, and that's why I speak to you on the regular, and I speak to all the players that are in the game, that are all around, that have got different ideas and opinions, because I'm not stupid enough to think I can get it right on my own. I can't. I have to bounce off X, Y, Z. Older managers, younger managers, coaches, players. How can I get it right? And it's going to be a work in progress, but I'm at the right club to do it. The club that supported me, that I've supported since I was a boy. And I just want to take Guildford to where I believe Guildford deserve to be. But it's going to take, I wanted to do it in 3 years. This is my third year and we nearly got bloody relegated. So I didn't pass that test. But I'm so confident that we're getting it right off the pitch. And that's where I've always probably got it wrong, where I've always focused about what's on the pitch. If I can get off the pitch correct, on the pitch will look after itself, because I'll have everything I need in my armoury to get the players I want.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I know that, obviously I can't speak for every manager out there, but I do know that you are one of the few managers that I've played under that genuinely loves the club, loves the supporters, and it's coming from a place of love as opposed to your own wants and needs, like trying to build your needs.
Yeah.
You genuinely want the club to succeed as a whole. And that is...
Yeah, I couldn't give a monkeys about anything else. Honestly, I couldn't. I genuinely couldn't. The club's been there for me through, like I said, some hard times when mum was pulling out. And they're so welcoming with my mum. My mum and dad, they used to watch every game before my mum got sick the second time. Yeah. And they're so good with them and built relationships at Guildford that can't ever be taken away. And that's why I love the club. And that's why I was so, no one was hurt more than me about last year's performance. Dan, let's be honest, we were shit.
Yeah.
Like
definitely.
The performances were just, I mean, we've had some brilliant days. I mean, we beat Ascot. You were superb that night. You were the 9 that night. You and Dan Stewart was just like, it just clicked. The front four that night, when we played Wayne out wide and I remember, and Eli the other side, and just the balance was perfect that night. Yeah, so we did have some great nights and some good days, but coming back to Guildford, it's just my club, and we're in the process of getting a new chairman because our chairman's moved away, but he's still going to be involved with the club. So listen, there's people in. We signed a sponsorship deal yesterday with an unnamed company because it's just going through at the moment. We've agreed another one this morning. We've obviously agreed with Surrey High that they're going to do a bit. So we're moving in the right direction, and that's the important thing. But we have to, again, we're a self-funded club, so without sponsorship, we're nobody. And nobody, I promise you, again, a strong opinion, but there's no managers that work harder than me at getting sponsorship in for the football club to get the football club in the best possible position. If I didn't do that, we wouldn't have a budget. And people always associate Guildford to have a big budget. You've been there, Dan. You know that we haven't got a big budget. A budget is a budget for the CCL League, in my opinion. Yeah. So it's a budget that can compete. And the budget we had last year, we should have competed in the top six of the table, and we didn't. So therefore, I failed. The season before, we finished 4th. I had a great season. So it swings and roundabouts. But I know the club trusts me, and for them to trust me and want me to be the man to take the club to the next level, that's pleasing for me. But football's hard, mate. It's so hard. Like football manager, it's just non-stop. You're on your phone. You're trying to look at this player. You want to try and get out to watch this player, but you've got training. So you've got to try and organise your coach to do that. It's just, listen, you need so much luck in football to get things right. And I mean, who would have thought last year that Ascot would have been at the top end of the table? No one was even discussing Ascot at the beginning of the season, were they? They weren't one of the favourites or anything like that. And then who would have thought, with all due respect, Guildford would have been down in the bottom? No one. Yeah, so football's a funny and fickle game.
Yeah, football is a very unpredictable game. And obviously, what I will say, without being... obviously, I've played for Guildford, but I'm not. This isn't coming from a place of bias. It's a very, very good club. Like the fans are unbelievable. They'll come every game singing, and they do their thing for the club. You've got people like Barry that's been there for years. You've got managers like you that have got your heart in the club. It's got good facilities. Good. It's always ambitious. Like they're trying to get as high as they can. So it's a very well-run club, man. So obviously, I genuinely wish you all the best for next season or whenever football get started again. I wish you got the best, man.
The fans, though, Dan. Fans are crazy, aren't they?
Unbelievable.
I mean, you don't get that at this level. Do you know what I love the away days because obviously they're close to the pitch, and the home games, obviously you've got the track. And I'll never forget that. Ascot will stay with me for a long time because the goals we scored and we were in with the fans in the second half was just the pictures of that night. And again, that's good. Like Bergie, we've got Bergie with the photos. That's great for us because that, believe it or not, that attracts players when they see that all the HD photos going around Twitter and Instagram, and they look brilliant. So, you know, the fans is, and that's what I need to start doing more. I need to start, because I appreciate the fans, so do the players. We've got no qualms there, but before I sign someone, come and watch us. Come and listen to the atmosphere and what this club's all about, because they can look at league positions, or they can speak to X, Y, and Z. Oh, what Guildford like? What's Chris like? And what's the players like? Just, you know what? Come and look for yourself. Make your judgment after that, because I honestly believe I fell in love with Guildford as soon as I started working there. I was assistant to Steve for 6 months, and I fell in love with the place, and I really did. And the love I have in my heart for Guildford is crazy. And I have that because of the supporters and everyone that works so tirelessly behind the scenes to get it right. And I need to start using that. And I learned that from another manager, actually, where he said, you know, bring the player to the club. Let them watch. Let them see what you're trying to achieve and exactly what the club's all about. And do you know what? That's something I'm going to definitely do next year and let them experience it. Even pre-season, Dan, we were playing Horsham. We took about 60 fans to Horsham. Remember?
Yeah, I know.
It's just
crazy.
mad.
It's
like
crazy.
Pre-season.
I've never seen such loyal fans at that level at all. Like they're the most loyal fans. They got chants for players' name. When Dan Stewart came back, he had his own chant. I was like, oh, this is crazy. But what I will say though, as a manager, I feel like you have to be very wary of the type of players you bring in because of the stigma that's attached to Saturday football now. A lot of players are genuinely only really playing Saturdays because they're trying to get some money. And then that's where I feel like that's where Saturday football is in that grey area of it's hard because you can get someone that's a quality player, but if he's playing just for the money or it's strictly for the money, it's a different type of. Will you get that same desire on the pitch? Are they going to die for each other? Are they like, is their heart in the right place kind of thing? Or will they move on if some more money comes along down there, gets offered to 5 games into the season? It's and not you specifically, just Saturday football in general. Like I just feel like that's the stigma attached to Saturday football. Players look at Saturday football and think, like, how much am I getting paid? And I feel like that's a stigma that needs to change in that area of football if it's going to progress. And
the thing is, I don't think you can associate that with Sundays. Though I don't think it's because of Sundays that's happening more now. I think when I first come into the game, well, what was it, 2000? And I first started managing Guildford, I think 2016, and we had that then. You know, it was a massive eye opener.
Yeah,
the players would just how much. You know, you speak to a player about an interest, and the first question they ask you is how much.
Yeah,
that shouldn't be the first question. What are your aspirations? If I was a player, I probably would ask how much as well, to be honest. But I think the question should be, what are your aspirations? How, you know, what do you want to achieve? How are you going to achieve that? What's my role going to be within the football club? This is just advice to players, because listen, they might not listen to it, but I'm a person in the game, and trust me, if you start saying that to a manager, you'll probably end up extracting more money from that club because they'd generate more respect for you. 100%. And I think, you know, if you're that good a footballer and you believe in yourself, like I don't know many players that believe in themselves more than somebody like you. Like you would say, no, I'm playing. Something like that, for instance, you would have the confidence in your ability that I'm better than X, Y, and Z. I'm playing, Gaffer. Let me play. Let me prove you wrong. And you don't get that enough anymore. You don't. There's players out there that are happy to sit on the bench if they're picking up their money. And that should never be the mentality. If I wasn't playing at a club, do you know what? I'd go and look for another one. And that's the way, or fight. Where's that fight gone? Gaffer, I'm going to show you, because I like it here and I like the players. And I had a player do that to me last season. Do you know that? He said, no, I should be playing. I said, okay, prove it then. And he worked hard, and then he had a run in the side. And listen, that you need that to have that desire. And managers will generate so much more respect for you for that. Yeah. And if you're a young player, you see young players tweet. I'm obviously active on Twitter. I love the thing, and I live and die by it. It's stupid. It takes over my life. But you see players talk about money on Twitter to their friends like freely. I wouldn't think that's the greatest idea in the world, because if you genuinely have that self-worth, of yourself on a football pitch that I should be worth this. Go and prove it. Go and prove that you're worth that. And I promise you, as a manager, you will get it, because we will understand as a manager that he's definitely worth that and he can take us to the next level. So I'm prepared to pay him that, or I'll speak to the club to try and get him to pay him that. You shouldn't. If you get a decent offer, you know what you're worth. That you would know what you're worth right now. You know, 2 years ago, 10 years ago, you knew what you were worth. And if you were getting that, great. Some club times you might be getting more than that. You think, oh, I'm nicking a little bit here. Do you know what I mean? Or you might feel undervalued a little bit. So if you're feeling undervalued, go and speak. That's what I would say. If you feel undervalued and you're getting underpaid at a football club and you think there's more money there, go and speak. Go and knock on a manager's door. Therefore, I think that I'm worth a little bit more because I've done this and this and this in the past. Have the conversation with the manager, and I swear to God, Dan, the manager will respect you so much because then he sees that, you know what, he wants to be here. He wants to, and then and managers can find a way. Trust me, managers can find a way, and that doesn't happen enough in football. What happens is you think a player's happy, the next thing you know, you've got a 7-dayer, and then 8 days later, he's playing at another club.
Yeah.
And it's just like, how have we come to that? What has happened there? Where's the communication breakdown here? What can we have done differently? And I have that conversation with players that have moved on before. What could we have done differently to keep you at the club? And then it might be, we should have spoke a bit more. But speak then. It's freedom. It's freedom. It's just go and go. Listen, my players come in me day or night. I've always had that relationship with my players on a personal level. If they're ever struggling, especially in like a climate like this, I've spoken to the players to make sure that they're fine, they're happy. Is there anything I can do to help them? And to get that, you gain a little bit more respect from the player. But do I mean it 100% wholeheartedly? And you know that thing.
Yeah, 100%.
But it's just, you've got to try. Anything I'd say to a non-league manager right now is do take a leaf out. People say, Sunday's shit, don't watch it. I watch it because I learn from it. And if you're not willing to learn from it and adapt yourself and try and, listen, I don't try and be like a Sunday league manager, but I look at what they're saying and how they're approaching games and what they're doing. And have I taken leaves out of his book and his book? Of course I have. I'll be stupid not to. And if you're going to be too arrogant to say, fuck Sunday league, well, do you know what? Fuck you, because you're gonna get left behind.
Yes, 100%.
You have to evolve. You have to. I love watching. I swear to God, I like 1:30 on a Sunday after my roast dinner. I get my phone out and I watch a Don's episode every Sunday. Religiously, it's like watching EastEnders for me. and people might say, "Oh, this is stupid. Why are you saying that on camera?" I don't care. Because there's a story behind it. It's not a football. I'm not watching it for the football a little bit. I watch it for the whole soap opera about it. It's mad. And you learn. I feel like I know the players. You know, they show what their hard times and their good times. And listen, it's a great platform. And what SE Dons are doing for grassroots football to generate 2,500 fans, whatever it was at Bromley. If the CCR had their cup final, they wouldn't get 250 fans then.
I know.
We're talking about step 5. So if you're going to be arrogant enough to say, "Oh no, I'm not going to watch that," and no, why? Because you're going to get left behind, and that's the truth. So I do it to keep up with the kids, mate. That's why I do it.
No, I 100% agree. I interviewed Zach Ansel the other day, and I said to him, like, why do people gravitate to the Don so much? And that's pretty much what he said. He said they're so open, they let people into their lives. There's so many different characters, and it's more than football. And they're creating a big family there, and like what they're doing is amazing. And obviously, they showed us so much support along the way. So I've got nothing but.
And you know what? Then that's a big point you've made there, Dan, because they could have probably seen you as a competitor when you first come in. Because you're coming into that, you're coming in and doing what they did. But you know what? All I ever see is them bigging you up and bigging up Urfresh, and full credit to them for doing that, because they appreciate what you're doing for grassroots football. And you often hear them say, "Bring it on! I want you to come in, and I want more cameras, and I want." They want it because do you know what they're doing? They're just highlighting what kids from South London are like and highlighting the area. And listen, you've got to take your hat off to, because I know how hard you work, and you work extremely hard doing what you do. And the episodes that they're producing week after week after week after week, they must be working their absolute nuts off. Listen, anyone prepared to work hard like that, full credit to them.
Full credit to them. And obviously they've been doing it for X amount of times and been doing it consistently for that amount of time. So anything that comes their way, obviously they deserve it. And obviously, like I always say, like I'm just so humbled that they actually support us. Like they send us messages of their own back and say, "Keep going, your time's coming," kind of thing. They don't have to do that. They don't have to. So the fact they do that, it's like I've got nothing but admiration, and obviously it keeps us going.
Your time will come. Your time will come. 100%.
I think
Listen,
so.
I remember speaking to you, 18 months ago when this was all just a man with a camera, and this is what I'm going to try and do. And I'll be honest with you, I used to think he's mad. He's off his head. What is he trying to do? What a waste of time. And I swear to God, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
But then, do you know what? Slowly but surely, he just kept coming and coming and coming. And who knows? Listen, it might fall on his ass. I very much doubt that.
Never.
But I'm excited to see where your Fresh TV is going to be in 3 or 4 years. Where's phase 2, phase 3, phase 4 going to be? Because, listen, if you carry on going the way you're going and working as hard as you are and get more people helping you and more cameramen, listen, you can go as high as you want to go. But it's having that determination to think, do you know what? I want to be successful. I have to be successful. I have to work hard. I'm the laziest kid in the world. Steve Dormer will tell you that.
Yeah.
Do you know what? We're so busy at the moment at work, I can't afford to be lazy. I have to work hard, and I'm driven to succeed within everything I do. My whole mindset has changed ever since this coronavirus. It has. Because you know what? You have to evolve in this life. My life can be taken away from me like that. I could walk down the road now, but knock into someone, oh, sorry, mate, and get the virus. You never know. So you don't know what's around the corner. So you have to just, listen, it's hard, mate, but listen, from me to you as a friend, I'm so proud of what you've done and proud of what you're achieving. And I genuinely think that, V could be on Sky Sports News in a few years. I'm not being funny. You could be.
I think I will.
You'll have dreams.
Yeah.
You'll have dreams.
100%. And obviously the sky's the limit, and we're aiming for the moon, man. So listen, I know that big things are coming, but it's just about being humble, consistent, and keep on working. But like, obviously,
don't forget me when you get there.
Never, bro. Come on, I've been talking to you. Like, I talked to you. Obviously, I haven't spoke for a while, but me and you used to talk literally not even about football. Sometimes we'll just talk about life and like just bust jokes. Do you know what I'm saying? Because we
had the saying, didn't we? Real recognise real.
Real recognise real.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, man.
Real people will recognise real people, and that's why we have rivals in our league. But I understand who the real ones are.
Yeah.
And I might not agree with some of the management styles they have. They don't agree with my management style. But I respect anybody, and I mean this, anybody, any manager, any coach, any fan, any player that does non-league, especially supporters and the managers, because that's tireless. Because you're doing it because you want to do it. You're not getting, listen, I don't get any money, Dan. If anything, it costs me money doing what I do. That's the truth. The travelling and stuff like that. I do it because I genuinely want what's best for the football club. Forget about me. It's not an ego thing for me. It genuinely isn't. You know that. It's not. Listen, I always say it's not me, it's the players, it's the fans. The fans that we have are just unbelievable. They follow you home and away, miles and miles. We went to Pagham last year, remember, down the seaside? We took 80 fans down there. I remember my first ever competitive game at Guildford, we played Newport Isle of Wight in the FA Cup. And I was so poorly that day, and I missed the hovercraft. I was ill. Luckily, Barry made a weekend of it, and he stayed over there, so I got the next hovercraft, and he picked me up in his car. And we took 150 fans over there.
Jeez.
Newport Isle of Wight, on a boat. And I remember coming out, looking to the right, and it's just a sea of red and white. And I was just like, wow, what is this about? Do you know what? I'll tell you the story about Kai and Nicholas, Big K. Yeah. Big K dog. He wanted to play the game so much. He was young. I think he was 17 or 18 at the time. But he was different. He was a complete different player then to what he is now. He's quite small and skinny. And I think we were 2-1 down with 10 to go. And I said, go on, Kay, go on, go and cause havoc. And he got a 90th minute equaliser. And listen, the rest was history that day. It was unbelievable. But
he's doing all right.
Yes. Unbelievable player. Listen, he had a lot to learn at that age. And I always said that to him. He could be as good as he wanted to be. He reminded me, did you ever play Ibi Akinbaye?
Oh, yeah, Ibi, yeah.
Yeah, he reminded me, when he first come, he reminded me of Ibs. He really did.
Yeah.
But his whole body shape, he's worked hard in the gym, he's trained, and this is why I respect Kay a lot. His whole body shape has completely changed. He's had to adapt his game completely and learn to play a different style of football to adapt to his body, and he has done it so well, and he is absolutely flying. Yeah. If I could sign Kay tomorrow, I would do everything I could to sign him. That's how much I rate him. The sky is the limit for that kid, but he has to continue to work hard and have that tunnel vision that he's got, because he has matured massively over the last 18 months. Massively. He's somebody, again, that I have a regular contact with. He confides in me sometimes about moves and stuff that people are interested in. And listen, a great kid, brilliant footballer, really is. Honestly, technically so underrated, so underrated.
Yeah, man. I haven't seen him play I've seen him play once, I think, but I know that I see him on the timeline and he's just scoring week after week. So
you would have a mad partnership with him, Vic. You would.
Yeah.
You two would work really well together. Yeah, you would. That would be a perfect partnership.
Yeah.
He just makes great movement, unbelievable movement, and he's a finisher in the terms of, you wouldn't class him as a finisher like a fat Ronaldo, for instance, who used to place it and just great finisher. Kay is a snapper, like a Robbie Fowler, bang.
Okay.
Shoot on sight.
Okay.
As soon as he gets a chance, bang, and he scored some great goals, some really important goals for us. And when we were successful, not last season, the season before, Kay got top scorer. I think he scored on average roughly a goal a game, and he was on fire for us. And then obviously he got his move, went abroad and played a nice and come back. But I think when at Chipstead, then he was flying there. And again, the virus hasn't helped him, because obviously he got a great move to Walton Casual, step 3. For the first time he played at that level, and then the virus kicked in, so he hasn't had a chance to prove himself at that level yet. But I think Kay will. I wouldn't be surprised if Kay got much higher up the pyramid.
Yeah, I know that you've managed Elge before, right?
Yeah.
And he's flying in like the Sunday League. Very technical player who's played. I think he was at Chelsea Academy or something like that, wasn't he?
He was at not Chelsea, Palace.
Okay.
I think it was Palace under 21 captain. I think he captained them. Listen, I come across Elge early days. When he first come to Guildford, Dean was the manager, and I watched him. I thought, God, technically, what a player he is.
Yeah,
he's really small, really small. Elge has got this side to him that, I don't know, man. He makes me fall in love with Elge. He's got a smile that you just like. Oh, he's infectious. He's great personality. Yeah. He's one of the kids that I loved working with, like really did, and we've again got a great relationship.
Yeah.
It's hard with Elge because I love technically gifted footballers. You know that, like yourself, Bobby Webb, Elge. Elge is right up there for me in terms of technique.
Yeah.
Some of the goals I've seen him score, some of the passes. We scored a goal against, I think it was Banstead. Mark Watkins scored it, and Elge put this pass, and I'm not joking. It was like I just couldn't believe it was just unbelievable. Yeah. And he again is a player that can go as far as he wants to go, but he has to have that tunnel vision.
Yeah, man.
And I think he's starting to understand that. But you got to understand that these kids are young, and they're from a part of London, or a part, whether it's London or Manchester, anywhere. He's from he's got that mentality, I think, where he was just like, oh, I'm good at football and I can do this. I think he's changed that mentality now, where he's saying, you know what, I want to focus and I want to achieve what I want to achieve. And that's what you have to have. It's very difficult, so I don't want to be too outspoken on that. But you know what I'm trying to get at. When you're young, it's different. You don't really care too much about football. Yeah. But I think now where he's got that 22, 23, look, I need to focus now. And listen, what a left foot. That's a wand, isn't it? It really is. He's great player.
Man. He's one of the players we've been most impressed with. And obviously, if he was to get his head down and just focus, I do think that obviously I wouldn't be surprised to see him climb up into the higher leagues.
Listen, the thing, if you've captained the under-21 side at Palace, you're doing something right, aren't you? And I'm pretty sure. I might be lying there, but I'm pretty sure that was the stat that he played quite a few games at Palace. That's when Guildford, when Dean first took over Guildford, he had a few of them, didn't he? Ibby, Sean Clement, Peter, Kai. Yeah, he had a few. But Elgis, what a player.
Yeah, quality player, man. Well, Chris, man, thanks for jumping on the live with me, man. I really appreciate it, bro. And
listen, I'll support you. Listen, you know how I feel about what the work you're doing, and anyone that works as hard as you do and a selfless time that you give up, especially when, listen, I've seen your babies, mate. They're adorable, and to take time out to do this for me, listen, I appreciate it, and to trying to give some exposure. And I hope people value what I'm trying to say, because listen, I am outspoken and I've got an opinion, but I'm entitled to have that opinion, whether people think it's right or wrong.
Yeah,
and I just hope it's gone down well,
I assure you, man. I've been the one listening to you, and everything you said. I don't think you've been outrageously outspoken, but I think everything that you've said, your points have valid points, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that are going to feel what you say, because you said a lot of very, very, very good points. And I can't wait.
Well, I appreciate you having me on, mate. And listen, big up Urfreshtv.
Always.
Big love to you, mate. Listen, I've tried to support it from day one, and I'll continue to try and support it for listen, wherever big it goes, and I just hope that you keep getting the recognition you deserve, because I can't keep saying it, but it's tireless. What you're doing is tireless. I speak to you, and it's just like, you're like half dead, Daniel. What are you up to? I'm just so tired, mate. And then I speak to Theo. Where's V? Mate, he's working. He's tired. Every time I speak to you, I'm working. And listen, hats off to you. But listen, you continue to have that drive and determination that you got now. Promise you in 3, 4, 5 years' time, you'll reap the benefits. And I'm proud of you for that.
Man. Shout out to you, Chris, man.
No problem. Good luck, mate, yeah?
Take care, my bro.